Welcome to the mediaSERVER video tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to cover first purchasing the mediaSERVER, also purchasing some licenses, and then we'll cover the complete installation process. So next, let's go ahead and cover the requirements for the mediaSERVER. So first, you'll need a computer or server that's running a good processor, at least a 2.7 gigahertz dual core or better. It's really up to you. Obviously, the faster server you have, the more responsive it will be. So again, the requirements are 2.7 or better, but it's completely up to you to choose the hardware that you like for your server. You'll also need to purchase Microsoft Windows 2008 server. Now, Microsoft has different versions of the server. There's the Microsoft Storage server that retails for about $200. There's the Microsoft Web server. So any version of the Microsoft Windows 2008 server will work. You want to make sure you have a clean install on your server and also have the latest service packs installed. You'll also want to make sure you have Internet Information Server or IIS 7 installed, and we'll cover the installation process for that in a second. Now you will need 3 static IPs. Now these IPs can either be internet accessible or not, it's up to you. If you plan on running the complete mediaSERVER solution over a local area network, a virtual private network, or over a WAN, and you don't need any web access at all, everything will be completely private, then you can just get 3 local static IPs. However, if you want to run players across the web and have everything internet manageable, then you will need to purchase 3 static IPs that are internet accessible from your local internet service provider. Also, you'll need a domain. Now again, if you are going to run this locally within a VPN or a wide area network, the domain can be just a private domain that's not a real domain. But if you plan on running everything across the internet, then again, you'll need to purchase a single domain and have 3 prefixes, and we'll cover that also during the installation process. And the last thing you'll need is a media key, which is a USB device that we supply. The media key holds the licenses and also the authentication for the mediaSERVER. And once you purchase the mediaSERVER, we'll go ahead and ship out to you the media key with the licenses. So let's go ahead and begin. The first thing you want to do is you want to go to this web address of https repository.signage.me/provideraccount.aspx. This will allow you to actually place an order for a server. Make sure you provide the correct company and billing information. You'll need to make a note of that because you will use this information later on during the installation process. So I'll go ahead and purchase 5 licenses and provide my information. Okay, and press on continue. Okay, next you'll go ahead and provide all your information, your credit card information and your billing information, and once you've done that, you'll go ahead and click on the buy now. And once you click the buy now, you'll receive this confirmation that the order went through, and at this point we'll go ahead and ship out to you the media key, which will allow you to install the mediaSERVER on any Windows 2008 server. Now this is really important, so we went ahead and dedicated a slide just for this. Make sure that when you're logged into the server, you're logged in as the administrator. If you're just a regular user that's part of the admin group, you're not going to have sufficient rights to do a proper installation. The installation might go through and it might seem like everything is okay, but actually not all the registry settings will be applied. So again, make sure that when you're installing the server, you're logged in as the administrator. Okay, so I went ahead and turned on my Windows 2008 server. This is again a clean install with the latest service packs installed. And so since there's really nothing installed on this server yet, the first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I install the IIS or Internet Information Server, which is Microsoft's web server. So I'll go ahead and click on this icon right here, the Server Manager, right here on the bottom. And I'm going to go to Roles. And I'm going to click on Add Roles. Click on next, and over here I have the web server IIS right here, so I'll go ahead and click on that and go ahead and add the required features and click on next. In the next screen I'll also go ahead and click on next. And now for the optional modules, I'm going to make sure that I also select the ASP.NET and add the required role services as well. So at this point I'm happy with the current configuration of my server. Go ahead and click on next and go ahead and click on install. So now it's installing the web server, the IIS. Okay, at this point the installation completed. So we can go ahead and click on the close. And we can also close the server manager as well. And now at this point we can begin the media server installation. Now the complete server solution can be downloaded from this path right here, repository.sounds.me/updates/updater/setup.exe. So just go ahead and type that in and you can begin the installation process. So let's go ahead and do that. Go ahead and launch a browser and paste this address and press enter. Go ahead and click on run again, install. Now the error is indicating that we did not plug in the media server key. Now the media key is the USB device that we're going to ship out to you as soon as you place the order. And the media key again holds the licenses and it needs to remain connected to the server at all times. And next we can see that we got an error. So let's imagine that a few days went by and we went ahead and received the USB key in the mail. So I'll just go ahead and plug it in, and I just went ahead and did that. Let's go ahead and click on OK and click on retry. And sure enough, you can see that now the server recognizes that the media key has been inserted. Next, we're prompted to enter all this information, and now you'll need to make sure you enter the same billing information that you entered when you purchased the media server. So again, I'm going to go ahead and provide the same username and the same password that I've purchased the media key with. So go ahead and provide that. Now for the provider studio, I can go ahead and just make up a username. So I'm just going to put just any random information for my username and for my password. And also for the database engine, which is a Postgres database engine, go ahead and provide a password for that as well. And click on create account. So now we're prompted to go ahead and enter 3 domain names that are going to point to the server. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your server is configured with 3 static IPs. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll go to the control panel and go to the network. Go to the manage network connections. And here's our interface. Double click. Click on properties. And I'll go ahead and double click on the TCP/IP version 4. And you see that right now I already have my static IP configured. So this is going to be my first static IP. Now again, I'd like to mention, as I did earlier, that this IP address right now is just a proxied IP, meaning it's not a real IP address that's addressable from the web. And so this server right now cannot exist on the internet and will not be able to provide services to players across the internet over the web. Now if you did want to make sure that you provide services to digital signage players over the web, these will need to be static IPs that are internet addressable and not just proxied IP. So you will need to purchase 3 static IPs from your internet service provider. But for the purpose of this demonstration, we're just going to go ahead and use just internal non-internet addressable IPs. So to add 2 more IPs, I'll go ahead and click on the advanced. And over here you see that this is my first IP, the 167. So again, I need to add 2 more to have a total of 3 IPs for this machine. So I'll go ahead and add IPs that are going to be in the same range. Okay, and so here I have 67, 68, and 69. These are going to be the 3 IPs that are going to be associated with this server. Click OK, and click OK, and click OK. And if I want to make sure that everything is configured properly, I'll go ahead and run the command terminal. Type ipconfig. So here are my interfaces, and I'll go ahead and ping all the interfaces to make sure that they reply back. Here's my 67, my 68, and my 69. So again, all IPs are configured with my server. And the next step is to go ahead and configure 3 prefixed domain names. And again, if you plan on parking the server at some internet service provider and provide digital signage services across the internet and over the web, then these prefix domains would have to be real domains. In fact, just to give an example what a real prefix domain is, I'll go ahead and launch the command again. And I will go ahead and ping master.signage.me. So this is a real addressable prefix domain since we have the master before the word signage. And we can do the same thing for business.signage.me. So again, that's another example of a real prefix domain. But in this scenario, we're going to set up the server as a private hosted server, not a server that's parked online. So we'll need to go ahead and set up a fake prefix domain. So the way to do that is, first we'll go ahead and execute Notepad. So here's my Notepad. And we're going to go ahead and open this file, which resides under C: Windows, System32, drivers, etc. hosts. So this is the file that we're going to open. And so the hosts file is used to map an IP address to a name. And so what we need to do now is need to add 3 domains with prefixes that are going to map to the 3 IP addresses that we've configured our server with. And so we're going to go ahead and just use the first interface, which is going to be 192.168.167, and we're going to call this one master.mydomain123.temp, and then we're going to copy and paste it 3 times. And again, we're going to use all the 3 interfaces we've configured earlier, so 67, 68, and 69. This will be business, and this will be socket. Go ahead and click on File Save. Okay, now let's go ahead and confirm that everything is working properly, everything that we've configured. So we'll go ahead and run the command. That's the command terminal, just like before. And let's go ahead and ping master.mydomain123.temp. And we can see that it's replying back to us, so we know that's working. We'll go ahead and ping our business domain, and we can see that's working as well. And let's go ahead and ping the last one, which is going to be socket, and that's also replying. And now we can continue with the installation of the media server. So over here we're back to the main window where we need to configure and set up all the different domain and interfaces that we've just set up. So let's go ahead and start doing that. The first one is going to be master.mydomain123.temp. Second one is going to be business, and the third one is going to be the socket. Now let's go ahead and on purpose go ahead and just make a mistake here and go ahead and click on refresh. As you can see, the first and the second interfaces were actually found to point to the IP address that we've configured. So it did actually translate the master and the business into the correct IP addresses that we've configured on the network interface card. So now let's go ahead and fix our third entry. Remove these 4 ones that we've entered and go ahead and click on refresh. And you can see that the third interface was also resolved properly. All the local interfaces were found, and at this point we can go ahead and continue with the installation. In this screen we're prompted to go ahead and enter the mail server, and the mail server is going to use to send out emails every time a new account is open, so you get a copy of the email that is sent to the customer and also the verification link as well. So you can use your own server, or you can go ahead and use our mail server to generate these emails. So we're just going to go ahead and use the default mail server for this setup. The next field is a notification email, or where would you like to receive the emails every time a new account is opened on your server. So we'll just go ahead and enter this. And just to make sure this is a working account, we'll click on send verification code. And here, if I log into my Yahoo email, you can see that I got an email verifying this account. So I'll go ahead and copy this number 39180 and go ahead and paste it over here and click on continue. And as you can see, the installation has started. We're getting progress on everything. Everything that's green has been installed. Everything that's yellow is currently being installed and configured. This installation takes care of all the libraries. It installs the Postgres database SQL engine, as well as pre-configures the IIS and all the registry settings. Also, you can check here in the upper right corner that we can confirm the number of licenses that we've purchased. It says right here 5 licenses. And if you decide to purchase additional licenses, you can simply click on Buy More. This will open up the website. And you can always purchase additional licenses, which will automatically download directly onto the USB device. So you can see how everything is downloading, is progressing nicely. Right now it's downloading the templates. Now at this point it's stopping all the services. And now it's installing the components. Everything is turning green as it's installing. Right now it's configuring the IIS. The localization or languages. And now it's starting the services, bringing the server alive. And at this point, it's done and complete. Also, one of the nice features of the server is that you have this button right here, check for new updates. If you click on that, it'll contact our server and see if there's new releases for the server. As long as you subscribe to the annual updates and support, the latest software releases will download to the server and automatically update for you, bringing you all the latest features that we have. And at this point, we've completed the installation, and you can proceed and download both the Air Studio and the Air Player now. This is the path where you can get both applications. Of course, you will change mydomain123.tmp to the actual domain that you use. And one more thing I wanted to note is that if you are going to use domain names that are only accessible from within your network, you need to remember to include the host file in all the Windows and Linux machines throughout your network that are going to access this server. So just to recap, I'll go ahead and open up the notepad file again. And I'll go ahead and open up the C, Windows, System32, drivers, etc host file. So again, remember that my domain 123.tmp is only known within my own network because this is a privately hosted media server. And so what you want to do is you'll want to copy the same host file and basically have the same entries in all your signage players and computers throughout your network that are going to be able to access this server. So this is something important that you need to remember. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and definitely let us know if you have any more questions. Thank you.